Hi everyone, welcome to the Thursday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. A former Fort Campbell coach accused of stalking a fellow teacher had his charges dropped yesterday in Montgomery County General Sessions Court. In addition to the stalking charge, 39-year-old John Ryan Cunningham of Cadiz was also charged with contempt of court for violating a court order, which also was dismissed. Court records indicate Cunningham was arrested on February 28th for allegedly stalking a female teacher, an ex-girlfriend that he worked with at Fort Campbell High School. Cunningham is reportedly the son of Kentucky Supreme Court Justice Bill Cunningham. Well, Goodwill Industries of Kentucky held a grand opening this afternoon of its $1.7 million relocated donation and retail center on Fort Campbell Boulevard. Vice President of the Western Division of Goodwill Industries, John Wade, says, "We are really happy to give Hopkinsville residents the goodwill they deserve. Ever since we opened here in 1995, Hopkinsville has shown a lot of excitement for us and our mission. This center is a reflection of their generosity." Wade spoke to us about why the organization changed locations.
Been in the other building for 16 years, and there's been a lot of usage there, and the building was in poor shape. And also, the building, we had two buildings there rather than one, so we had to do the sorting and the hanging and stuff in one building, and then roll the racks across the parking lot to the next building. So the building was inefficient in the way we operated there, and also the retail space and the donor space was just too small. I mean, it just needed to be enlarged because of the increase in donations that we received here in Hopkinsville, and also the increase in shoppers that we received here in Hopkinsville.
The new building is 14,000 square feet and is located at 2624 Fort Campbell Boulevard. It is more than twice the size of the former facility. Revenue from donated clothing and household items allowed Goodwill to hire 6 more people at the Hopkinsville branch and also helps fund employment counseling, job training, and adult literacy programs. The Ohio County School Board's facilities plan update was rejected by the Kentucky Board of Education yesterday. The proposal was sent back, directing the Ohio County Board of Education and the local planning committee to work with the Kentucky Department of Education staff to identify appropriate methods to develop a revised facilities plan. At the center of the controversy, Horse Branch Elementary School, a 60-year-old, 155-student Category 5 school that has been designated as transitional, meaning it is slated to close at some point and would not be approved for state funding for major renovations. On 2 occasions, the Ohio County Board of Education rejected proposals by 3-2 votes from the local facilities planning committee that would have reduced the student enrollment at all elementary schools and did not call for improvements at Horse Branch. Last month, the school board majority crafted its own facilities plan, including more than $4.4 million in renovations at Horse Branch, and submitted it to the department and the state board for consideration, which was refused Wednesday. Meanwhile, the State Board of Education did approve facility plans for Hopkins, Marshall, and Trigg counties. In addition, the State Board of Education certified several local non-public schools for 5 years from July 1st, 2011 to June 30th, 2016. The following non-public schools at Fort Campbell were certified: Barkley, Jackson, Lincoln, Lucas, Mahaffey, and Marshall Elementary Schools, Wassam Middle School, and Fort Campbell High School. Also joining the list of non-public certified schools are Heritage Christian Academy in Hopkinsville and Northside Baptist Christian Elementary School in Mayfield. A Fulton County attorney has formed a nonprofit organization in an effort to help Kentuckians affected by the recent flooding. Assistant Fulton County Attorney Jason Batts talked to Source 16 about the devastation in Hickman caused by floodwaters, the worst that area has seen since the 1930s.
Hickman is right on the river, and there's a flood wall that was constructed to help protect the town in the event of dramatic flooding. And the last time that the town was really threatened with the level of disaster we witnessed here recently was in the 1930s. The record flooding happened then. And the flood wall was strengthened after that time because, honestly, people thought that that was as high as the water could possibly get on the river. Well, we were wrong. It not only got to that high this time, but it exceeded it. So we witnessed a lot of the flooding down there, and just people working day and night with each other, putting sandbags on top of the wall and around it. and really helping out their friends and neighbors to ensure that the water stayed out of the city limits. And in fact, the governor called the National Guard to help come down there and sandbag as well, day and night.
Batts says part of the reason he became a lawyer was because he wanted to help others. He adds that after seeing the amazing way the community came together and hearing the same question over and over again, how could a person make a donation to a charity that can guarantee all proceeds would benefit their neighbors in the area, he came up with an idea to form an organization to not only help Fulton County residents, but all Kentuckians during a disaster.
So that was an interesting question that was posed to everyone, is when we heard it over and over again, is how can I make a donation and ensure that it stays within the same state? Well, looking into it and doing a little bit of research, we found that no such organization existed, or at least not that we could find. So that was really the catalyst that motivated us to start the Kentucky Assistance and Relief Effort, or CARE, thereby making an organization that we hope lasts into the future, that people can make a donation to within the state of Kentucky and be confident that 100% of the money collected will be going towards helping their friends and neighbors within the same state.
According to Batts, all of Kentucky's four-year public universities were more than willing to donate items to help raise money for KARE.
And what it is the athletic departments at each one of these schools made a donation from the football and the basketball teams a lot of times. And we're auctioning off those items on eBay so people can place a bid on it and have an opportunity to win that. And all the money will go to helping those people here in Kentucky.
If you'd like to place a bid on the items donated, you can go to eBay and search Kentucky Colleges Gift Pack. For more information or questions about the KARE organization, contact Jason Batts at Kentucky Assistance Relief Effort at gmail.com, or you can call 270-627-0345. Authorities in Hopkins County are asking for your help in locating a missing juvenile who is believed to have run away. The Hopkins County Sheriff's Department is looking for 17-year-old Haley Morgan of Dawson Springs. Around 5:30 Wednesday evening, the mother of the teen contacted police and reported her missing. Haley is 5'3", weighs about 150 pounds, has shoulder-length blonde hair and hazel eyes. If you have information that may assist law enforcement, please contact Detective Matt Sanderson or Deputy Mark Gentry with the Hopkins County Sheriff's Office, 270-821-5661. And here's a reminder and a lesson of why you shouldn't do wheelies on a motorcycle. A Clarksville teen had to be life-flighted to a Nashville hospital after police say he was doing wheelies on his motorcycle and crashed into another vehicle. Around 5:30 Wednesday evening, an off-duty Clarksville policeman reportedly saw 18-year-old Warren Howard driving a Honda motorcycle south on MLK Parkway performing a couple of wheelies. Shortly after that, police say Howard crashed into the rear bumper of a Chevy Tahoe driven by Angela Turner of Clarksville. Howard was thrown from his motorcycle after the wreck and landed on the roadway, but the motorcycle continued on and crashed into a Nissan Versa driven by Brittany Schneider. According to police, Howard was life-flighted to Vanderbilt Medical Center with leg and head injuries and is listed in critical but stable condition. The Kentucky Court of Appeals has denied a petition from 9 Graves County Amish men who were fined and cited for not displaying the slow-moving vehicle symbols on their horse-drawn buggies. Well, now that the petition has been denied, the case is reportedly headed back to a Graves County court. Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Scott Robbins told the Paducah Sun that he expects to ask at an August hearing that the citations be enforced. If the men refuse payment, he said they could be put in jail. The Amish men have claimed that using the triangular symbol violates their religious beliefs. Madisonville will be kicking off its annual Friday Night Live event tomorrow night, meaning there will be several street closures. Motorists traveling in Madisonville will want to avoid the following streets: Court Street from noon until 10:30 p.m., Union Street, that's behind the courthouse, from 6 a.m. until 10:30 p.m., East Center from Main to Franklin, 4 p.m. until about 10:30, and the parking lot next to the police department. All vehicles should be moved from there by 4 p.m. Now, the first installment of 2011 Friday Night Live series gets underway at 6 o'clock tomorrow night and will feature local talent Barry Potter and the Hosscats, opening for the Edge Band. The event also features a 5K road race and a 1.5 mile fun walk, vendor booths, and much more. Activities are sponsored by several organizations and businesses and will be held from 6 until 10. Now, for more information on this summer's Friday Night Live events, please log on to MadisonvilleGov.org. A Murray State University professor and a Christian County man were among Governor Steve Beshear's recent appointments to boards and commissions. Assistant Professor of History at MSU, Brian Clardy, was appointed to the Center for Renewable Energy Research and Environmental Stewardship Board. He'll represent post-secondary education interest and will serve a term expiring March 13, 2013. And Hometown Finance Corporation President Jerry Pyle of Crofton was appointed to the Financial Institutions Board. He'll represent consumer finance or the industrial loan industry to serve a term expiring October 10, 2014. A Hopkinsville man claims his car was allegedly sold by a local garage repair shop without his permission. James Starks of Riverfront Drive told Christian County Sheriff's deputies he took his 1995 Ford Taurus to the business, which is not identified in the police report, to have his motor repaired. But then he claims one of the employees told him he could find him another vehicle within a couple of weeks. He said the incident took place 3 months ago and he was told by one of the employees that his car was sold to be crushed and the money was spent from the car sale. According to Starks, employees at the business refused to answer the phone when he calls. The car was reportedly worth $1,000. A Hopkinsville couple is charged with endangering the welfare of a minor. Hopkinsville police say Regina and Jack Shepard of West 7th Street were both charged and arrested at their residence after police responded to a call about a passerby picking up a child that was running down the street unattended. The passerby told police he saw the child running without shoes or a shirt at Master Builders. Police say the child did not want to say his name or where he lived and led officers on a 2-hour search to find his home. When the officers arrived at the residence, they found both parents asleep with the doors unlocked at the home. According to police, a similar situation occurred May 28th when the child was left and police were not contacted by the parents. Police also say the boy ran away from the parents at Kroger's last week.